Welcome back to another episode of the Ironman Challenge at BHIVE. This week's episode is a special one. Here's a hint. The guest is one of the first few Indians to take on the Ironman Copenhagen and finish it in the first attempt. Meet Nirupa Shankar, the joint managing director at Brigade Groups and a trailblazer in more ways than one. In August of 2023, she took on one of the toughest endurance races in the world, the Ironman Copenhagen. And in her first attempt, she not only crossed the finish line but did so in under 15 hours, which is a phenomenal achievement. And today, the team will be getting first-hand insights from her. Let's take a look.
This is what I learned. If you want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you go together. Doing it together is really important. I think it's a very, very lonely journey when you have to cycle for 4 hours, 5 hours at a time. And I realized family is the most important thing. I cannot compromise on that. One of the reasons I was doing it was not just for fitness, was to build confidence. I just constantly told myself that I will be an Ironman today.
Closely interacting with the people who have done things really inspires us a lot more than anything else. And so that way, Nirupa has been a great inspiration. She is one of the stars from the real estate industry, which we are part of. Nirupa is the joint MD, and primarily Nirupa and her sister are running different divisions of Brigade Group right now. Yeah. One of the things that has inspired, many of us know this, is that she has done the Ironman 140.3 and it's a tough thing to do, and somebody who's holding your position, somebody who's heading such a big group while running the business, having a family as well, taking it up, I think is a true inspiration. And I think you were telling me this, when you turned 38, you did Olympic triathlon. When you turned 39, you did the Ironman 70.3. And when you turned 40, you did the full Ironman 140.6. And that was in Copenhagen. And I believe you're the only Indian woman in that edition,
that race, yeah.
In that day, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, we would like to hear from you about your journey through Ironman. Over to you on this.
Thank you. Thanks, Shesh, for that intro. So, frankly, I've been trying to do a lot less speaking events because otherwise it's never ending. You always, there are always panels, conferences to talk on. But, when Shesh asked me to do this, I said okay because I love talking about fitness and the whole Ironman journey. So that's something I do out of passion. So happy to be here and speak to you all. And hopefully we can make it a very engaging session. I think I will take about maybe 25 minutes to go over my deck, but hopefully I'm here to answer all your questions. I'm not an expert on fitness and all scientific questions around fitness, but I can only share with you my experiences and what I have learned in the process. This was a little time chart of how I went about it. Like I said, I did not know what an Ironman was till my mid-30s. So I had my first child in the year 2015. And after I'd gained some 20 kilos during that pregnancy. So in order to get rid of that weight, I joined a running group. I don't know if you know Shreyas Karnad, many of you runners. So he had a running group. So Shreyas Karnad's group is what I started with. And in that running community, I started learning about, people were talking about triathlons. I didn't even know what a triathlon was. And maybe in 2016 was when I started understanding what a triathlon was, and that's how I signed up for a sprint distance. I think I showed you what the sprint distance triathlon was. It's a 750-meter swim and a 20K bike and a 5-kilometer run. So I did that in Tonur. So even though I got lost, I had to ask villagers where to go. I found my way back, and even though I took half an hour or 40 minutes longer than I should have, the important thing was to complete it. So find a way to complete things, and I think you'll be on the right track. But I did sign up for an Olympic in 2021, and that was my first international event. I did it in Croatia. Then I was 38 by then. You can back calculate my age. Then, as Shesh said, I did half in 22. And it wasn't all that simple, I thought I would do, it was my 40th year, and I thought I would be able to just do it the next year immediately within 12 months. But of course, I had a personal issue. Somebody in my family got very, very ill. So I actually took a year off, and somehow I turned 40 in October. So I just managed to do the month, in the same month just before I turned 41. So this is what I learned. If you want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you go together. So I think it's really amazing that 5 of you are doing it together. I think you'll motivate each other when you feel down, when you feel not confident. So doing it together is really important. I think it's a very, very lonely journey when you have to cycle for 4 hours, 5 hours at a time. What happened was, obviously, because you have to sleep early, you can't party as much, your friend circle changes. And I was always a night person, but I had to become a morning person. And I used to cry to my coach, why is this happening to me? And I'm not able to, it took me a very long time to accept the fact that I will have to change my friend circle. I will have to do different things for fun. I would have to go to sleep early and wake up early. So we did have a set of people, we called ourselves the weekend warriors, and we would catch up so even cycling, I must say, I really didn't know how to cycle at all. Like in 2017, before the sprint, I literally had cycled 100 kilometers in my life, and I went and did that 20. I actually started cycling only in 2020, I would say 2020. With the weekend warriors, when COVID hit, I think everybody bought a bicycle and was out on the roads. I think when you say, okay, you have to swim 4 kilometers, you have to ride 180 kilometers, and then you have to run 42 kilometers, it sounds very daunting. It sounds very impossible. You know, that's why the Ironman tagline is anything is possible. But I think like in Ironman, as in business or as in any other challenge you guys might be going through in life, I think if you break it down into smaller steps and if you break it down into smaller parcels, it becomes a lot more manageable. So if you're going to start out training, you know, if you're not a runner and you want to become a runner, you just say, hey, let me just get this 1 kilometer in this week. Then the next week you say, okay, let me just get 2 kilometers in, okay? Even if I have to walk the last 500 meters, let me just get 2. Then let me just get 3, and let me just get 4. Every time you switch off Netflix and go to sleep, every little thing counts, I would say. Every time. You could just say, hey, just this one episode, just this one drink, just this fried food, just this chocolate cake. No, everything I think will tell you on race day whether you did good by yourself or you didn't. So I would say that in this process, every small thing counts. If you can get half an hour extra sleep, that matters. If you can avoid drinking one day and just stick to soda, that matters. This was a little thing that I kept. It says, little drops of ocean, tiny grains of sand, make the mighty ocean and the beauteous land. So just to say that every grain of sand, every drop of water counts. So every decision we make in our lives also counts. Yeah, this was a big thing for me. I would say consistency matters. You know, running 5 kilometers every week is better than running 10 kilometers once a month. You know, so that's consistency matters. I did not follow it 100%. I couldn't follow it 100%. There were weeks when I was sick. There were weeks when my kids were sick, or we were traveling, or I had an injury, or something or the other happened. But I did put in 70% of the work. And I feel that sometimes we try to keep pushing ourselves, but rest is very important. Like triathlon, you talk about, you know, swimming, running, and cycling. But the next 2 aspects of it are sleeping, which is resting, and also nutrition. So I would say it's actually 5 disciplines that we need to focus on. I actually wrote an article in the process of finalizing it on how running a triathlon is very close to doing an IPO, but also close to business. You know, like so many, like I did a session for some startup founders on how preparing for the triathlon is like running your startup, right? Is I would say to do anything great in life, you have to be willing to suffer, right? Everybody asks this question, what is your passion? What is your passion? I'm not a big passion person. I'm like, what are you willing to suffer for? Because whatever you do, there is a suffering element. I think it's 80, like even work, I've spoken about it before, like 80% is donkey work, 20% is actually fun work. So, but if you want the results, you have to be willing to suffer. I can't do an Ironman. At 36, I knew I was not fit enough for it. But I said, you know what? I would like to gift myself the fitness level at 40. Like, what do you want to give your, I don't know what's the average age here. Everybody looks very young. 26. Okay. So I was like, what do I give myself, right? I'm not very materialistic, like shoes, bags don't excite me, but what do I give myself? And I said I wanted to give myself the fitness level to do an Ironman at 40. So that's what I worked towards. That was my North Star. And I would ask you to ask yourselves, like, why are you doing certain things? If you want to get fit or lose weight. So how do you get there? You also have to be the fittest version or a fit version of yourself. So you need to understand yourself, your mentality, what will motivate you, and then do it. If somebody says, hey, you do the Ironman, I'll give you this bag, it won't have motivated me. So I would say understand yourself and then set your goal, because Ironman, weight loss, everything is a mind game. It's just a mind game. If you make up your mind and you have the right mentality for it, you can easily achieve it. And yeah, this is something I deeply believe in. Like, why do we do this, right? One of the reasons I was doing it was not just for fitness, was to build confidence, right? How do you build confidence? I think that's a question that has played on my mind. I'll be honest with you. When I was maybe in school, in college, I was not a very good speaker. Like, I would shiver and shudder to like take a mic. I'd not be able to speak. But the only way I was able to sort of overcome that was by taking the mic and doing it 100 times, right? So the only way you can get confident is by doing it and making the hard choice of doing it. It's easy to say, why bother? Why stress about it? And those thoughts, I put these because those thoughts came to my head. I said, why am I bothering with this? Why do I need to do an Ironman? I don't need to do it. Nobody's paying me to do it. It's not going to help my work or my business or anything like that. I don't have to do it. But that's just the negative voices in the head. But I know what it did to me, all the intangible effects of it, if you actually start doing difficult things. And I think there are a lot of intangibles, not just completing the Ironman, but the self-confidence that you get by doing difficult things. I think I spoke about this. For me, this was the most important aspect of the race. I think there were about 2,700 people at the start line. Maybe about 2,000 finished. I don't know the exact numbers. Maybe 2,400 and 2,000 finished or 1,900 finished. But there were 500-600 people who didn't finish. I was not the fittest there. I can tell you that for sure. But I was one of those who finished because I just constantly told myself that I will be an Ironman today. I just kept saying that again and again. And I started, 100 kilometers into my cycle, my legs started cramping. Once you get a cramp, it's very difficult to continue with it. But I just put salt. I just kept ingesting salt capsules. I just kept eating something every 45 minutes, kept doing my electrolytes. And I just somehow just pushed through because, like I said, cycling was not my forte. And I just kept saying, my legs are strong, my legs are strong, my legs are strong. So managed to finish the race without any cramping. And of course, the swimming, right? The swimming is scary. The swimming is actually scary, and I was tired. And there are big 6 feet men, European men, like swimming on top of you and, trying to like overtake you. And I'm just like, please go. Like, I have no desire to come first or anything like that. So I just let everybody pass. And I remember in my first Croatia open water, the waves, every time I lifted my head to breathe, the wave would splash my face. So I started last thinking I should listen. I'm one of the slowest. And they say self-seed yourself. Worst advice. They said, so I thought I was one of the slowest, so I went last. So halfway through, I looked back and there was nobody there. So Croatia was bad. I panicked, right? I was the last person in the water. Like, I'm not even joking. And I was ready to put my hand up, but even the security boat had gone somewhere else. So I remember my daughter who had come with me for the first race, and I just said, just do it for her. Just do it for her. She will want to see you come out of that water. So I just kept swimming. I don't know what I did, but somehow I got out. Of course, by the time the full Ironman came, I was a little more mentally strong when it came to swimming. And I just said one stroke at a time, one stroke. Like, you just focus on one pedal at a time, one stroke at a time. And I feel that that's very meditative, right? Because you're very present with what you're doing. And I would say that's a very an amazing place to be, because for me, I'm very bad at meditation. I can't sit still for more than 2 minutes. But when you're cycling for 8 hours and you focus on the present, I think that's a different form of meditation. And I kept telling my daughter, so I kept telling her, call me an Ironman, you know. So she said, you're an Ironman. So I just made people tell me I'm an Ironman, and people, as in my daughter, she has to listen to me. Lastly, I think on those long cycling journeys, you think a lot, you spend a lot of time with yourself, you start to reflect, you start to be philosophical. And like I said, what is the point of this? What's the point of working hard? What's the point of doing triathlons? What's the point of anything, right? And my conclusion was, you can do it, you cannot do it. There's no right, there's no wrong. Whatever we do, there's only a purpose. The purpose is only what we give it. Whatever you want to do, whatever your hobbies are, you want to play a guitar, you want to play an instrument, you want to run 5 kilometers. I mean, there's no right and wrong. Just do whatever makes you happy. There's no right in sitting, not doing the Ironman and just sitting on a couch doing 30 minutes of cardio a day. Or the other way, there's no right and wrong, and just find meaning to what you want to do and do it, because we get only this one life and we have to learn how to live life on our own terms. So do whatever makes you happy, do the things you love, and do the things that give you meaning. Thank you.
After her inspiring talk with the BHIVE team, Nirupa sat down for a one-on-one mentoring session with Shesh.
So there are times when I bike here in the city 100 kilometers before work.
Oh my, 100K.
And then a lot of times we do Fridays, many of the Fridays we do a concept called 50-15. We start early, we bike 50 kilometers around Kaban Park and run 15 kilometers in Kaban Park. And we have got shower and everything here. So we are trying to build that concept before work.
Get it done.
It's not like, so basically I think for me, if that can be done on a weekday and then you continue with work, I think that's how I'm trying to build it in, you know. Because for me, it's been, usually I'm kind of workaholic, and 6 days I'm like, while office is 5 days, Saturdays also I'm meeting people and doing things, and my wife is very clear, Sunday to with family. I think now at least last few weeks she has given me an off because the Ironman is coming, so I'm going to Tuticorin. I think many of us are going to Tuticorin this weekend. It's safer in organized open water, right? We can't just go ourselves. I'm actually pretty psyched about the open water, last 10 days back, I did 1500 one shot in the pool in BCU. Then just Sunday I went to the open water, I was not able to do,
So, I don't know, there's a technique you have to keep looking up, right? Sighting. You have to keep sighting where you need to go, otherwise you can go all over the place.
Yeah, but incredible numbers here. I think your numbers in the full Ironman, you did much faster than the half. Is that average pace?
No. Even full Ironman, I told myself, please don't go more than 15 hours. Do sub 15 is what I had told myself. So it was 14:45, which I was okay with. But probably if I trained a little, done 100% of the training, so I could have done it sub 14, I feel. But anyway, I think we just have to do our best at that point in time.
Always have that feeling, right? I could have done better, right?
Yeah, I feel like if I do it again, then obviously I don't want to just do it. See, the first time you do it, you just want to do it for the completion.
For the experience.
Yeah, for the experience. The second time you do it, I think you want to get better than your last time.
Because my wife Avanti, she also runs, and she has been more into different kind of fitness. Now I've tried to get her into running and all. And Sham was commenting that women of the family being into fitness will inspire the kids a lot more.
Yeah, I think the older one is very much into sport, younger one not yet. She's 10, so she's into football and basketball. But I started running with her, like 1K, 2K and all that. Ironman kids is what, 1K or 2K, depending on the age group. 2K, I think.
1K and 2K.
Yeah, so.
Do you see that a lot of people are moving more and more towards fitness? And would you look to create more future townships where you have 50 meters pool and good running track, solid, let's say you're doing 100 acres projects and all, right? I think that gives
that 100-acre project, at that point in time, we didn't do something around it, but there's an internal spine. So when I was training for the sprint, I would go there to train. Because it doesn't have 50-meter pool, 25-meter pool and an internal spine road of 3K and at least no major traffic. But now we're doing a 75K township, and I'm trying to get like a track around it. Cool. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.
Training doesn't end when the workout stops. Recovery is just as crucial and it's an important part of your training. Two powerful tools for any endurance athletes are myofascial release and ice baths. Myofascial release, often done with foam rollers, helps relieve tight muscles, improve your flexibility and speed up your recovery. Ice baths, on the other hand, helps reduce inflammation, eases your soreness and also helps your body bounce back 10 times faster. Together, they are the secret formula to keep you fresh, resilient and always ready for your next challenge.